Room temperature is an installation made up of 27 plus modules, which are wire-wove single bed frames. It was like a sculptural device, really, so people could see into all these objects because people couldn't walk around in here. It's that thing about being part of it, but not being part of it. It kind of alludes to empathy too. What's it like being in that body that won't work like it used to? This installation charts a lot of things about, you know, the habits one has in one's life and then how they impact on you. On the chair beside the bed, we've got an image of Charles Brash, who in his memoir, In Directions, said, "The course of an illness, like a long voyage, carries one through constantly changing seas and weathers, now sailing quietly on, now becalmed, now even being blown back, passing through all the climates of the seasons and touching at lands known and unknown." When I read that, I thought, it's perfect. The way it encapsulates the pace and tempo of an illness. I was just trying to encapsulate visually what my personal experience of illness was with my family since I was a young child through to a decade helping my husband live at home after a major stroke. So there's lots of very rich things to look at. There's a single bed, there's a St John ambulance box, there's lots of empty medical bottles and medicines, there's an oxygen cylinder, there's a walking stick, there's a stethoscope, there's a bell slightly out of reach. Under the bed we've got the little strong boxes with securities and insecurities, and I'm thinking about the intensity of feelings that come up when a member of one's family is ill. The flickering lamp is more about finding your way, because again it's totally uncharted territory. In illness, you don't know what's going to happen really from one day to the next. On the bookshelf a whole series of enamel mugs which began when the poet Hone Tūwhare died, within days of Sir Edmund Hillary dying. And Hone Tūwhare's death was sort of eclipsed by the death of Sir Edmund Hillary, and I remember that photograph of Sir Ed holding the Hillary mug, having a cup of tea after he'd climbed Mount Everest, and so I made a mug, found one of my old enamel mugs and put Tūwhare on it. And then as time passed, Janet Frame died, and Margaret Mahy died, Ruth Dallas, the poet and writer Ted Middleton. So they're names that sort of became another reference to the literary life of Dunedin. On the coffee table there's 30 pieces of silver. I like the different colours of the metal in the coins. The pewter plates are a direct sort of take from a Dutch still life painting. The bath is this gorgeous rusty bath, like with dreadlocks of rust in the middle, and that's the really sad thing, that it becomes much harder to do the things that give you pleasure when you're ill. When you're helping to move somebody around, if their mobility is compromised, or helping them in and out of bed, or when you're in the bathroom, you can have soft hands and you can have hard hands. So the tissue works, they're sort of crinkled up, so you have to open them to look at them and then scrunch them back up again. So it'll be very interesting how they survive the 2 months of this exhibition, whether they end up in tatters or whether everybody's quite sensitive.